It's the Solar One Sci-Fi podcast.
Hello, this is episode 158 of the Solar One Sci-Fi podcast. I'm Michael Wall. We are trying again to use a StreamYard, a system which everybody seems to use on YouTube and seems to have a lot of success with. So far, it has been a load of pants to us so far. It never seems to go right. But this week, I am joined once again by my faithful co-host, someone who also is a bit dubious with StreamYards. It's Mr. Martin Fowler. Hello, Martin.
I'm very well. How are you? I'm good. One more time. I'm telling you, one more time.
Yeah, okay. Right. I will say this. Okay.
I don't know what's going on.
We have really tried.
It's gone to shit again.
We've just
it's
tried.
It's gone to shit. Right. If it fucks up.
One more time. All right. And if it does, then these will end up in the bloopers.
I'm moving to Zoom.
Now we all seem to be talking. We seem to be actually communicating for the
moment.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. I'm good. It's good. Yeah, I'm good.
You're good.
I found the soccer interesting.
Tell me about it. What do you think about it?
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
What he was, did it?
It's interesting that some people thought it was like that.
I thought it was very enjoyable, but
yeah. So we're talking over each other a bit. Some people are saying that it was like a north end. North end. It was more like a near-death experience, but of course, the kid heard the lightsaber battle. So some people are saying that can't be the case, otherwise he wouldn't. But you know about this world between worlds? It's like an intersection between space, time, and the Force.
And life and death.
Yeah. And the Force, right? Yeah, so, you know, some people are saying that Anakin's essence as a Force ghost can exist in this intersection, and it really was Anakin who was trying to sort of guide Ashoka. And also, did you notice how Ashoka changed when she came out? And she was wearing white, and she seemed a lot more. I like that. And she showed a bit more enlightened.
I think it was an aspect of the Force that was talking to her.
Okay.
Oh, it was part of it because she's connected. Remember in cartoon, so there were that owl that used to fly around her, and then there were them cat things.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that it's sort of connected to that mission because I think she's got some kind of big purpose with the Force as Ahsoka.
Yeah. Okay. But did you like it?
That's right. I loved it. I personally thought it was very good. It was really good. I thought it was a superb episode. Yeah.
I mean, I've watched it 3 times. I don't normally watch anything 3 times. Even Picard season 3, I didn't watch it 3 times straight away. So this is really, from my perspective, this is really solid. The whole thing's great. The music, the acting, the special effects, the story, the way it fits in with Star Wars canon. Yeah, I'm loving every second of it. I really am. It's something very special.
I'm very impressed.
I think I like The Mandalorian more. Although this is better than season 3 of The Mandalorian, so that's the way I say it.
No, I think this is better than season 3 at Mando, definitely.
Yeah, I agree about that. But the first 2 seasons of that show,
it's better than Boba Fett.
Yeah, I'm still a big fan of Boba Fett.
Dare I say it, Cyril and his mother.
Oh yeah, Mando. No, it's better than that. What about Obi-Wan?
I like Obi-Wan. I know people don't.
I like Obi-Wan a lot. I think it's a really good series.
I thought with Obi-Wan, you got the payoff.
I think it was really. I'm surprised. I'm surprised it has as much criticism because I actually think it's I've seen that about 3 or 4 times now. Ewan McGregor and everybody involved. I think it's a really good series.
Because it makes sense that he'd be so disillusioned on that planet. No support, no money. He's got to survive. He's no backup. Normally could just phone up Jedi headquarters and send him a spaceship or send him money. There were none of that. He was just on his own. And I could say after 10 years of doing that, you become very disillusioned.
I agree.
And it made sense, and I liked it when he walked away from Vader when he defeated him.
Yeah.
I loved that scene because it's like, I'm not going to kill you because I'm better than you, and you've done this to yourself.
Yeah, and you could just
I like that.
leave you to it. Yeah, leave you with your hate and everything
Because
you destroyed.
It's interesting with Vader. His character, the character of Vader, he was used all his life. All that power, and people just used him. He was a slave. Palpatine manipulated him, treated him like absolute crap as well when he was Vader. And you know, you can see why he's like he is, but he's, you know, Vader is he a victim of his own thing? It's an interesting sort of thing, but he's killed millions of people, so I mean, you know,
it's always been a combination of circumstance and experience.
You bet it perfectly right on the head there.
That's how I see his character. He's a tragic character.
Yeah.
But was it partly just of his own volition to turn to the dark side, or was he coerced because of Palpatine and his experiences? That's what I like about his character, because there is a good in him and there's also a bad in him. The thing is, though, in human nature, we all in human nature, you know, some of us turn to crime, some of us turn to religion, some of us, all of us in our respective lives, we always make choices as to do the right thing, or possibly think about doing the wrong thing. Most of us think about doing the right thing.
Well, but the evil came out in him when he killed all them Sand people. That was the first.
That was the first trigger, wasn't it? In episode 2.
That was the first trigger, and Palpatine manipulated it from there.
The death of his mother by the Sand people, by the Tusken Raiders, was what actually did it.
Because there were certain things like there were breaks that could have stopped him, like Padme could have done. Do you know what I mean? There were breaks that could have made him go the other way. And I feel sorry for Vader? Yes and no. A very tragic character. You know?
Yeah, and also the people around him, you know.
By people.
Yeah, and he lost his wife.
Powerful people.
He lost his wife, he lost his son, he lost his daughter, because of the way he behaved. And I don't know, I mean, I think Anakin may well be really the strongest character in the Star Wars universe, because of how in so many iterations, in one form or another, you see him, or if not, you see his offspring. And I think really, and this is why bringing him back to Ahsoka. And what do you think of the CGI? Because I thought that they did the de-aging really, really well. I thought he looked really fantastic.
I thought I was convinced. I didn't think about it. I just accepted
that's
it.
how good it was. That's how.
I didn't think I was about to mention. I didn't think about it. I only thought about it after I'd seen it. Yeah. And then I wonder if the de-aged him there.
But, because we saw him de-aged a bit in Obi-Wan. Episode 5, and it wasn't quite as good. He looked a bit older than that when he was supposed to still be with Obi-Wan. It was okay, but this was far better, far better. And also the clever flashbacks to the Clone Wars, where we saw him even younger with a very young Ahsoka. I think it's really good. So let's ask you, what do you think?
I love the live-action Clone Wars series.
Yeah,
I mean, I was so impressed with what I was seeing.
So what do you think is going to happen next week? Tough one.
I think it's interesting because they said something to her about that Balaam scholarship. You know, when he said to her, you didn't, Vader taught you well. But I think, don't forget, she's got the skills of it. And she fought him to a standstill as well. She's got Vader's training. All of that discipline is in her, and she's got that drive of like Vader, but she's different. She's so calm. She's incredibly
I like that. Her demeanour has changed.
Her demeanour.
Yeah, the demeanour is completely different
when she came out of that, I was really impressed. Now, all I want to do is just get to that next galaxy now.
Yeah, but I'm hearing all sorts of things. You know, the Morgan, the character, she's from this witch race Apparently,
Yeah, she's
can't
one
remember.
of them Dathomori witches. You remember the in Clone Wars?
Yeah, I remember them, but
She's one of
apparently,
them. She's one of
the
them.
her people are some of those are going to be in the other galaxy where they're going. Apparently, there's going to be some sort of link to that. But I'm hearing
Because
all sorts of things, so you know what I mean.
they were, you see, there were two threats to Palpatine apart from Vader. The other threat was the witches of Dathomir. Their power was almost equal to the Jedi and the Sith. They were like something else.
Yeah,
And he feared them. And when they all got destroyed towards the end of Clone Wars, the survivors, Palpatine surrounded the planet. He isolated the planet so they
yeah.
could never leave because any one of them was a threat to him. So it's going to be interesting that there's another load of them somewhere else. Because Darth Maul, he's from there, and that brother of his.
The brother was
So
there.
it's going
Yeah.
to be
Do you
interesting.
know?
Yeah.
It sounds like you've memorized the Rebels and Clone Wars more than I have because I've seen it all once, and it's a bit like I've said before with animated stuff like Star Trek Prodigy. It doesn't always stick in my head for some reason, like live action. I remember it was good, but I just doesn't. It just I don't know why it doesn't.
Out of all Carter, that really stuck in my mind. It was so well done.
I need to watch it all
That
again. Really.
it's a great place to pull knowledge from, especially when you're watching this.
Yeah.
The people haven't seen this. The old Clone War Rebels thing, like we saw the Purgles, the whales.
Yeah, Purgles, yeah.
We saw them, and like, but if you hadn't seen any of that, you'd have been sat watching that, going, "Oh, look, space whales." Do you know what I mean? And I think that's where they might have gone a bit wrong because they've stuck a lot of Easter eggs in this from them two series, and there'll be a big part of the audience that won't have seen this and be like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, I mean, we did actually see a Purgle in the beginning of Mandalorian season 3. There was a scene where
we did.
There was one in hyperspace. We saw it as shadow flying in, which is a nice little link. I mean, the way I see it, I've seen it all, so I recognise how important it is, like Sabine and Hera and all these other characters, and I remember them all. But I don't know how it would be if I hadn't seen any of this series. If I'd have come in it completely without the knowledge of the Clone Wars, Ahsoka, all this stuff, the Ghost Ship, and everything else that's been involved with it, I don't know. I mean, would I be bothered about seeing Grand Admiral Thrawn because I wouldn't know who Grand Admiral Thrawn is? It would be kind of like.
That's the other part I'm going to ask you. They've held him back, haven't they? I thought we'd have got him by like episode.
I think we'll see him at the end of episode 3. Episode 6.
We're not going. We're going to see him at the end. It's going.
And I think we'll see him. I think
6,
we'll see
7, and 8, and then.
Yeah, I think we'll see at the end of episode 6, and then 7 and 8 will be the big 2-part kind of like this is it. The shit's going to hit the fan. And this will be hopefully what I've been waiting for. That the Imperial factor really asserts itself against the new alliance,
the Rebels.
Rebel Alliance, and that's what I've been looking forward to ever since.
It's coming together. These little things, though, they are moving slowly to a centre point. They are, the rebels and all that, and it's moving, and I think it's quite interesting.
I think it's very interesting.
So yeah, I've been impressed with this, and it's restored my faith in Star Wars for now.
I got shaky with Andor, like I said, but to me, Andor is a very good production. It just doesn't quite feel Star Wars. I don't know why it doesn't quite feel Star Wars.
Because I think it's Andor. I want to see the universe, and I like seeing life under Imperial rule. The average
person.
That.
But it was something about the way it was done.
Everyday life.
Yeah, I like that.
That's what I want to see. And I want more of that, everyday life. But Andor, I think, because, Rogue One is
Rogue One's fantastic.
Film.
Yeah.
I think because you know what happens to him.
Oh, do you think that damages its credibility?
I think so, yeah. I don't. Yeah. I also think the other fellas, is it Stellan Skarsgård,
Oh,
Him
the
that works
actor,
in
yeah,
the
yeah,
yeah.
the one that
He
changes
should have
demeanor.
been the one that brings all the factions together, because he sort of overrides Andor for me. Andor were quite irrelevant in this.
Hmm.
The character, I found the other characters. You could have took him out and made it about the other fella, and I wouldn't have had a problem with it.
Or he could have appeared in it, but not been the main name of the focus of the show.
Yeah. It
They
could
could
have
have
been a
slightly changed it.
low
So
level operative in the
yeah,
rebellion.
so
Yeah,
it wasn't like Star Wars Andor. It was Skarsgård, whatever his name is, or something, just
yeah,
something a bit, or the Star Wars Imperial Occupation.
something
Something like
like
that.
that.
So it's kind of
Yeah,
like, so
yeah,
you think,
yeah.
okay, that might have been. I don't know why,
So,
but
I like it where you get a normal person and he's seeing the oppression of what's going on around where he lives, and somehow he joins the rebels. He goes off. I'd rather have seen it from that point of view. What makes that person want to stand up against them? This empire that's bringing order and stability.
yeah.
What drives you to take a stand against that?
I
You know,
do say though that the Andor, I have said this before, it is definitely better watching it on a second viewing.
I
I think it's expectations of the first time round which damaged it for me.
I watched the half an hour. I'll send it to you if you want. I watched a fan film the other day. It was only like 30 minutes long. It was set after the Battle of Endor on the planet Endor. It's the moon of Endor,
Mm.
and it was a stormtrooper. He's communicating with his base and nobody's answering. And he looks up and sees the big explosion. It's the Death Star,
Oh, okay.
and he catches a rebel soldier. And somehow they end up helping each other, because like something happens, and when they both start talking to each other, they both want to get back to the wives,
Okay.
the wives and that. And he says to him, he said, "Well, I come from Alderaan. The stormtrooper comes from Alderaan." He said, "My
Okay.
wife and child live on
But
Alderaan."
so obviously at this
And
point,
and the
Alderaan will be
rebel guy
destroyed. Then.
tells him, said, "You
Yeah.
don't know, do you?"
Yeah, it's been destroyed.
Well, they never told any at Stormtrooper. He said, "You don't know, do you?" He said, "You lot blow it up," and and it's like this poor guy. Everything he believed in, everything was torn down.
Brainwashed.
They
He was
kept it
brainwashed. Then.
secret.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
brainwashed.
and it's
That
really
sounds
good.
good.
It was only
That
half
sounds
an hour.
good.
I
I
thought
s-
it was. I came across. I can send it to you if you want.
yeah, I saw the one with Darth
I was
Maul.
impressed. They'd done really well with it.
I saw one with the younger
Oh,
Darth Maul
I've seen
before he became a fully integrated Sith,
Yeah.
and he was fighting these Jedi on the planet, and that was pretty good. There have
Yeah.
been some good ones, but like I said, I mean, I'm a big. I like Star Wars and
And
Star
they were
Trek.
going to spare that Jedi, but the Emperor were watching them.
Yeah, that's really good. Just change the subject while I think about it. Now I've watched up to
Yeah,
halfway
yeah.
through the season of Foundation,
Yes.
and I'm not into it so much. I have to say, it's Foundation. I
Do you
mean,
know?
you have you seen season 2 yet? Any of season 2 yet?
No.
You're gonna wait. I know you said you're gonna wait. It's
Yeah.
just finished. It has just finished, so I'm going through it now. But I can't quite get into it. I mean, it's all right, but it seems a bit like it's a bit up itself. It's a bit sort of overly complicated, and I just think something's not quite right with it, and I don't know what it is.
I thought to myself last week, I wonder if it's finished yet.
Yeah, it's just finished.
And it's part of me, I don't know if I can be bothered putting the hard work in watching it.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, look, shall I watch it and then let you know
I'm
what
not
I think?
excited. I'm not excited. Well, I would like to see it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, what I'm saying is, you said about the time.
But I've not. It's not been. I've not been. It's not like Ashoka where I'm there watching that. It's not that. I'm not getting that with Foundation.
No.
You know, if I didn't see it, I could probably just move on and not bother with it. You know, I don't know. I don't know. So it's finished now then.
It's just finished. I don't know because I've not got to the end watching it yet. Whether there's a third season being made. I assume if it is going to be made, it'll be delayed with the writer's strike again because everything's been delayed. But I'm a bit. I don't know. I like the
You don't
actor.
seem that impressed with it.
Well, no, I don't know. It just seems to be all talking about this thing and how everything could go potentially wrong, and then you have like I don't know, something about it. It's not working for me. The actor that plays the scientist, the one that was the hologram that came back to. I
Yeah,
like
but the books are like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that it might be. It's quite
Uh,
heavy. I find it quite heavy going. Is what I'm trying to say. It's
When
kind of
I
like.
when I
You know.
read the books when I was younger, I only read 3 of the books. I got to the mule.
Did you find it quite heavy going then, from the books wise? Because I'm finding
Yeah,
it quite heavy
yeah.
going.
When it's I read 3 of the books, and about 20 years ago, and the 3rd book was the best one
Yeah.
because the Empire's fallen, and the mules there's like a mutant born that's got vast, extraordinary power, and he
Oh,
starts
okay.
playing with people. Like everything's a toy to him, but he looks
Right.
he's only a mutant, and he's completely malevolent. But there's another foundation or something. They get rid of him. That is my advice. Is if you can get to that season, I think you're going to get your payoff. But I did find the first season very up its own arse.
Yeah.
But it is slightly older to what's in the books because the clones they're hardly mentioned in the books.
Oh well, they're
You know,
featured very
right?
prominently, aren't they? The
But I've not. There's been about 7 books. I ain't got a clue what happens after book 3.
Okay. Well, if I mean, I is one. I don't know if each season represents one
Yeah, go
book.
on, I'm listening.
I don't know if one season represents one book. Maybe that's how they're doing it. So this is like the second book that we're.
I assume so.
I'm watching
I
now.
assume it's like the Expanse. One season represented a book, so I assume that's what they're doing. You know,
Yeah.
but there's a lot in there. That's why something like that, I can't watch it weekly.
Yeah, I
I've got
could
to
see
sit
that.
through.
I could see that. Just sort of
But
like have like
honestly,
an
I
half
can't.
binge it. Yeah, I could see what you're saying.
Yeah, I could watch 5 in a night and then probably a day later go back to another 5.
And get it done.
But I couldn't watch it weekly because I'd be bored shitless by 4th week. I'd lose interest.
I mean, that's what happened with me because I lost. I watched
just to appreciate it.
I watched about 3 or 4, and then I took a break. And you asked me about it, and I said, and it's kind of like I watched the most recent episode again to refresh my memory, and like, yeah, I'm not very sure about it. I don't know. It's all right. I think some people really like it,
Right.
but
I do respect your opinion. I do respect your sci-fi opinion. So I'm glad you've told me.
Yeah, to me it's a bit. It's
you're probably right in what you're saying.
It's heavy going. It's a bit heavy going, I think. But you know, I kind of just I don't know, I can't explain it. It's just something that I just want to just get to the point. Just get to something big. Just stop, like, you know, like you have like obviously it's Brother Day, Brother Dusk, Brother. Yeah, and it's like,
well, it's not that I've been looking. I've had enough of. Yeah. I just want something lightweight. You know, when I watch Strange New Worlds, it was like, you know, for 1 hour a week, I got to be in that world, and I enjoyed every episode. You know, but thing is with Foundation, it's one of them. You're gonna sit in all day. You're either gonna be bored shitless. I can't say it the same more. And then there's hints of the big thing, and when you finally get to the big thing,
you've lost interest. It's taken too long to get there,
and you probably figured it out 4 episodes.
Yeah. Well, I will watch it.
Yeah.
I'll try and watch the last 4 or 5 I've got left to go, and then I will let you know. And if it's worth checking out, then obviously maybe we could do a review at some point. But it's tough going. What else has been going on? Not that you're into it, but there's a new Walking Dead series which has just started called Daryl Dixon, where the character from The Walking Dead is now in France.
There is, yeah.
Loved it. Brilliant. Really, really good. 2 episodes in. Reminds me of The Last of Us, which is another great series.
Okay.
So that's a series I recommend you check out. The Last of Us, with the guy who plays the Mandalorian in it. That it's only.
No, Walking Dead's your department.
Yeah, but I don't.
You're the man for the Walking Dead. I know an absolute.
Yeah.
I've seen 4 seasons of it. You're
Well,
like you've seen all
tried
of
it.
it, so I'll leave
At least
that.
you tried.
That's
Yeah.
your department.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, anyway, it's good.
If you recommend it, I'll take a look.
All right. Yeah, check it out. Check out the because it's although it's got one character from The Walking Dead, it's pretty standalone. So you could watch it, and it's also filmed in France as well.
It's set in France, then.
Yeah, it's set in France. Yeah, it's really weird.
I wanted to ask you. That sci-fi program made in France, War of the Worlds, the one with the robot dogs.
Alien Dawn.
Did you ever complete that?
No.
Did you ever get through it?
The War of the Worlds one with the robot dogs.
No, it was the TV series.
Yeah, I remember. It's all right. We are slightly talking.
Yeah. Did you ever get through any more of that?
No, because if I remember, part of it was in France or something. Part of it was somewhere else.
Is that still going then?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't like it very much. I don't know why it was called the War of the Worlds, because it wasn't based on. It wasn't a version of H.G. Wells.
I was bored shitless with that.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
I was bored.
Yeah.
No,
it wasn't good. No. But
I lasted 3 episodes in first season, and then I just.
But there's another War of the Worlds I mentioned to you last week, Alien Dawn, which is very much. It's a weird. It's more like the War of the Worlds meets The Walking Dead, and you've got tripods, you've got Martians, you've got but it's really weird. It's almost like a fan film, but I quite liked it actually. It's quite good. It's only. Right. It's a low production, it's not got a lot of money, but I'd love to do a review of it at some point. I think you should check it out. You like all the versions. This is like a War of the Worlds, not like that thing with the robot dog. But it's called Alien Dawn, and it's I think it's worth checking out. So there we go. Okay, so any other news?
Is it worth doing a review on air of it then?
What, Alien Dawn?
Oh, but yeah, I've read an article. Buffy's coming back.
Oh,
yes, is it worth doing a review on here of it?
Yeah.
Right.
I think so at some point. No, I'm going to check it out. Have you not seen it yet though, right?
Right. No, not yet. I'll give it a look. I will. I'll give it a look. I will. It's apparently Buffy's coming back. The old cast. No,
I never saw the old Buffy. I never watched that. I never checked it out.
Okay, well I got into it a bit later on. I have to say it was very good, but it's coming back.
Okay.
But on audio.
Oh.
I bought Big Finish. You know Big Finish?
Doctor Who and all the audio stuff.
You know Big Finish that do the Doctor Who?
Mm.
Yeah, they've started doing UFO. I've just played the first one, which is very enjoyable.
Okay.
Of UFO, yeah. So I was quite happy with that, actually, yeah.
Yeah,
so that's it. That's all the sci-fi news coming from me.
Yeah, I think Big Finish didn't they do a Blake 7 or something as well? I know they've done some other sort of British sci-fi before.
Yeah, I've got some of them. They were very good, yeah. They were very good.
Yeah, I never been into audiobooks.
Did UFO? It's not bad.
Yeah.
If I'm doing stuff, I can listen to them, you know, if I'm like...
Yeah.
I couldn't just sit there and, you know, listen to them. I've got to be doing something, you know.
I normally, when I do a lot of Photoshop work, I tend to put audio on then. I tend to put more like comedy and stuff like that on. I don't know why, but it's the same with the animated thing with like Star Trek and Star Wars. I don't quite click with animated stuff. To me, and it is very, I don't know why I'm like this, I really only click with live action stuff, and I don't know why that is. I just don't. The only one I liked was Ulysses 31. I loved that. I'd love to review that at some point. That was one of my favourite ever.
Yeah, big fan
sci-fi
of that.
cartoons.
Let's do that next week.
Oh, well, actually, no. Do you know why? Next week, Jay from Sidetrek has asked to come back, and he has asked if we could possibly review the original Stargate movie, which we'd never done. Would you be up for that?
Haven't we done that?
We've done the series, but never the original movie.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Got to do that.
Funny
That's one of
enough,
the big ones.
I watched that last week. Yeah.
Oh, then it'll be freshening him up. Right, next week. Next week.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm up for
Brilliant.
that. Fantastic.
Fantastic. Brilliant.
Yeah.
What's the chance of that? Why is it so often we talk about something and then you suddenly say, "Oh, I've just seen that. That's really cool. Brilliant."
No, Dave, I watched it last week. Funny enough, honestly, I just get in. I love the film. I don't know what it is about it.
Yeah, it's a very good start off for the franchise, and SG1 really took it. When you look back at it after you've seen where it went from the TV series, you can go back and really appreciate the original movie. And it just really works, doesn't it? So we'll talk about that next week. Anyway, we are now going to, just to say, we have got a bit of a time delay with our conversation, but that's fine. We are sticking with StreamYard. This could be a fully StreamYard podcast, the first one ever in 5 years nearly. But for now, we are now going to go into our focus of the week.
We've had 35 minutes with no malfunctions.
Well, it's all right. It's better than last week, but then that's not saying anything. Let's go into our focus of the week.
It's the
Solar Sci-Fi
focus of the week.
All right. So this week we are going into a film which I think. Had you seen this film before I told you about it, Martin, or is it something you're new to? Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise. Have you seen it before?
I saw it years ago.
Oh, so you have seen it? Okay.
Yeah, about going back in time 24 hours to stop the alien invasion. They wear that body armor.
Yeah, that's right.
And they go back like several hours, and they've got to kill the queen of it or something. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah. So I can't remember the first time I saw this. It was a few years ago, but I'm quite a Tom Cruise fan. A lot of people don't like Tom Cruise, but I've just always liked what he's actually done. Let's just start off. What did you think of it? You really enjoyed it? You okay with it? Here's a second. Martin's frozen.
Tom Cruise he did 3 sort of cool science fiction films for me. He did 3. Oblivion, absolutely love that film.
We've reviewed that.
I think Oblivion is a sci-fi
We've reviewed
classic.
that. We reviewed it.
When this came out, I think, yep, and we've got one more of his sci-fi films to review after this.
Oh, it's the one. Yeah, Minority Report. Yeah. Okay, we'll do that as well. Definitely.
Yep. And there was the cancelled TV series that followed on from Minority Report, but he didn't do one.
Oh.
But Minority Report. But this was second one he did. I think Minority Report. No, Minority Report came out before, I think.
Okay.
That was before. I mean, that might have come out before Oblivion, actually. But it's. I love this film. The concept that this alien things take over. Just rampage all over the planet.
Yeah.
And they come out. The advanced weapons tech, obviously, to deal with it. They'll come up with some idea that they can go back in time and relive that battle again, from what I remember. And it's something to do with the alien power core. They've got some of it that enables them to go back. And they've got to find like the central intelligence of the alien mind, and he destroys it.
Yeah,
that's what I remember of.
He because
is that right?
In the first loop, he kills I think it's a queen, not the main one, but a queen, and then her blood gets on him, and that allows him to link with the alien collective, and then when he dies, he can go back 24 hours and start to change things.
Yeah, it's coming back to me now. Yeah.
And so, I mean, I love Groundhog Day loop movies. You know, there's quite a few of them now, but I just find the idea of seeing the same scene and repeating one series which you should see if you like that kind of genre is Russian Doll. Not season 2. Season 2 is shite. season 1 is a Groundhog Day loop in New York. The woman, same principle. We've seen it in Next Generation. We've seen it in Groundhog Day, and it's just a very, very. I like the fact that it had kind of like the comedy. I like the fact that when he began, he was like this. He was just like a. He was like, he wasn't. What was he like? Lieutenant or something? It was a rank where he never been in war.
Yeah, he was an officer.
He was an officer, but I don't know what rank he was. And he goes to see a Brit, some British sort of general or something, and he says, right, okay, well, you're on the plane tomorrow. You're going to France, and you're going to be fighting. And then Tom Cruise like, no, I don't do that. I'm a representative. I tell people what to do. I don't fight myself. And then the guy that did it was the guy that was in 28 Days Later. I can't remember the actor's name, but he's a good actor. And he said, well, no. And in the end, he gets forced to go. And it had a lot of comedy. Bill Paxton's in it, of all people. I love Bill Paxton, everything I've seen. He was in it as this sort of guy in the soldier bossing the soldiers around, and he was great. It must be one of his. When did he die, Bill Paxton? It was a while ago now, but I remember.
A couple of years ago, yeah.
Was it a couple of years ago? But and I just thought that the film, it just worked. I just liked everything about it. I just liked the idea that the aliens are coming from Britain. It's one of the last places where we've not been infected or attacked yet, and they're trying to stop them from coming across from the British English Channel. I like I just like the cast. I just thought it was a very solid film. I just think that let's have a look at some more information about it as I'm talking. So apparently it's based on All You Need Is Kill by Hiroshi Saruzaka. Obviously it stars Tom Cruise, Emily Blunt, Bill Paxton, Brendan Gleeson. Is Brendan Gleeson up with the actor I'm thinking of? It was in 28 Days Later.
I think so, yeah.
And let's just have a look. I mean, let's look at the reception of it. Edge of Tomorrow received largely positive reviews from critics who praised the humour, which is something I liked about it as well. Lyman's direction, the alien design. Although the aliens, they're a bit CGI-ish, weren't they? They're a bit cartoony. We didn't see them that clearly. That was one thing. When they do CGI aliens, I don't like it if they move so fast you can't really see them clearly unless it's That's the only criticism I have about it.
Smudgy,
they're more like blurry going across the screen. Yeah. And you can still make it, just slow it down, let it see that, even if it's like, but you know why they do that fast? Because if they do it slow, it looks a bit too artificial. So they do it blurring across the screen. It's more of a way of hiding the CGI. What does it say? Cruise and Blunt's performances and the two time loop premises ability to remains fresh. However, some critics had issues with the film's conclusion. Based on 335 reviews, reports 91% of critics gave the film a positive review. So the conclusion was it was a happy ending in the end, wasn't it? I mean, obviously spoilers if you haven't seen it. It's a relatively happy ending.
Yes.
Where in the end, Tom Cruise's character gets to Paris, where the main entity, the not the Queen, but whoever's running it, the biggest, like the boss alien, shall we say, and he kills the alien, and then I can't remember now, but for some reason he gets then thrown back again a day, and then he's in a different reality where the aliens have just all died, and he then doesn't have to go on the plane. He doesn't have to. I didn't mind the ending of it. I thought it was actually quite. I mean. Some films end really, really happily. Some films end really, really in a bad way. I think the film I'm thinking of, which I don't know if you've seen, which has one of the darkest endings for a dad, is The Mist. God, that had a downbeat ending. But this had a really nice sort of upbeat ending, where in the end is like I said. So I mean, other factors I liked about it was you never get bored. It was quite fast moving, I thought.
Yeah, it never stopped.
Another factor which you want to see in movies. It kept you in watching it and interested to see how it was going to go. I mean, I don't know how long it was. It wasn't too long a movie.
Back to it though. I've never gone back to it.
Like I said, I saw it recently actually, because I remembered it. But you've only seen it once, though, have you? This is probably why you can't remember it that well.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think I bought it on DVD when it came out. I didn't see it at the cinema.
No. I mean, I never hardly go to the cinema for hardly anything now. Yeah, I thought it was pretty solid. I just trying to see what else it's got about it. Really, I mean, it's like I said, the problem with certain aspects of these films is that you can always say, "Oh, well, they did that in this film. Oh, they did that in that film," and there's many films, alien invasion films, about how they get, the aliens are unconquerable, and how humanity is going to survive. For some reason, I'm thinking of Independence Day. For some reason, that's popped in my head with respect to this. And so you could say, "Oh, this is like Independence Day meets Groundhog Day meets, I don't know, something else." But I just think that it's got its own elements to be unique enough to think, yeah, this is a good film. And like you've already said,
It stands on its own as a time travel film.
Yeah, I think
they
it
try
does.
to put I know it's the same thing, but they do try to put a different spin on an old type concept, don't they? Which is sort of like a military engagement, where normally it's a guy stuck in a day reliving events all the time. This time that it's a battle where they have to destroy it, then all that will stop.
And
There
another
were
aspect,
rumours they were gonna do a sequel to it, but it never happened.
I think I heard about that, but I suppose, all right. So if they'd have made a sequel, what do you think they could have done in respect of a sequel?
Well, it's just more aliens turn up, I suppose.
That's what I'm saying. Could they do it?
You can't have the same story, can you?
Well, yeah, it reminds me of like Starship Troopers. The first movie of that was really good,
Excuse me.
and then they had about 2-3 sequels, and I just didn't get to those at all. So I think personally, from what I could see of it, maybe the one film was enough for it. You know what I mean?
The third sequel, Starship Troopers, the third sequel was really good.
Yeah, I saw.
Terrible.
I saw the second one and I didn't like it. I know there was a third one. I don't think I ever saw the
third one's really good.
Okay, but the first one is still the big one because that was the big movie.
Yeah. Well, even the third one they're wearing they're wearing like mech suits in it, and that's where all the budget went. They had a bit more money, but obviously it's not like the first one. That cost hundreds of millions, didn't it?
That's what I'm saying.
Made for DVD, these ones.
Yeah. And I think that's where how you think about how a film reminds you of something else. So this is reminding me as well a bit of Starship Troopers with the soldiers dressed up fighting aliens. Obviously this is different, but that's the nature of science fiction. In the end, it's like with other genres, isn't it?
A sequel to Edge of Tomorrow would have been terrible.
I think so. I don't think it would have worked. I think that it worked as just a one-off for what it was. And I like I said, if you haven't seen it, seriously check it out. It's there's obviously places to find it. I think you might be able to pay and watch it on YouTube or from digital copies wherever you can find those. But I would say give it a go. Like I said, not everyone likes Tom Cruise. I don't mind Tom Cruise, but I know a lot of people don't like him. I think he's quite a good actor myself. So I suppose at this point we should give it a rating. What would you like to rate this film out of 10?
I like Tom Cruise. I've never had a problem with him.
No.
7.
You're gonna give it a 7. All right, I'll give it. I don't know. Let's give it. I know it tends to be the same one. 7.5. 7.5. And Marsh just disappeared. Just when we gave the rating. Just give it a second, and we'll get him back. But while he's just disappearing for a second, I will say though that it is definitely worth a watch. Here he is. Actually, he'll be gone in a second. It is worth a watch. Because, like I said, it's unique. Martin's back. Martin, I think it might be time for us to go soon because, we have got through this podcast we've had the first dropout with you for a second, and like I said, I don't know. I don't know whether it's your end. I'm going to blame you, Martin. I think that you jinxed it this week. Your end. I think my end has
Well,
been
thank you
wonderful.
very much. I feel very honoured and complimented.
I'm only joking. I don't know why our internet is always so dodgy these days, though. We never used to have this problem, did we? I mean, like
Yeah.
every week there's something that goes wrong, and we
No,
really
we
tried
do.
this week. We really tried. So,
Yeah.
I think we will use this in conjunction with Zoom. I think that might be the best way around it, because in the end, I like the fact that
Yeah.
we can both be on screen at the same time, which is quite fun.
Mhm.
And it would be quite good at some point to do like a reaction of something, because I mean, I suppose what we could do is like I could like post a link to a reaction to something, and then I wonder if I could try that actually. Why don't I try doing something screen layouts, picture in picture. I'm so new to this though that I don't know. Plus, oh no, that's not it. Heck no, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to mess it up. I'm so new to this. I'll have to ask Jay on Sidetrack, because he's been using it for ages. And like I said, everybody else I know, most of them do use this system. But whether we both got dodgy modems, or we got dodgy Wi-Fi, or maybe someone up there just doesn't want us to do this on StreamYards, I don't know. But no, you changed your background anyway. That looks nice. All right, Martin. Anything else to say before we sign off? I don't think anything else I can think about.
No, I think that's it for this week.
All right. What we'll be doing is we've only got 3 more weeks of Ahsoka. So once that's done, we're definitely going to have to review that. That's going to be a good one. We're going to have Jay from Sidetrack next week. Hopefully he'll be free. He said he's up for it. He's actually asked us to do that, which would be great.
Yep.
I think that's pretty much. So, Martin, thank you so much, my ever faithful co-host, for sticking with me with these technical issues. But it's been a lot better than last week. A lot better, okay? Last week was a 1 out of 10. This week, it's about a 2.7 out of 10. So it's getting there. It's slowly
I
creeping
have
up.
faith in your capabilities.
Have you?
I don't, yeah. You're a miracle worker. There you go.
Well, do you need a miracle, though,
I'm
to
being
use
nice. I'm being
StreamYards?
nice. Well, I don't. See, I mean, we've had a few. But we've managed to get nearly an hour, so I think we haven't done that bad.
No, it's been all right. It's not been
Yeah.
bad at all. Brilliant, Martin. Okay, well, thank you very much. We'll catch you next week on the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast. Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper.
Don't worry, we'll give it one go, because, like I said, it's this is not good, is it? So I think it's whose turn is it this week to do the intro? I think it's mine, isn't it? I think it's mine. I'll do
Yeah,
the
but it
intro.
works for everybody else, doesn't it? It works
Well, why
for
do we?
everybody else.
Well, look. Do I look clear to you? Because you look really fuzzy to me. It looks like it's your end. Oh God, he's gone again. Is he gone again? I can hear you in the background. Oh, he's gone again. Oh God.